صلاة الله سلام الله على طه رسول الله صلاة الله سلام الله على ياسين حبيب الله على ياسين حبيب الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء وإمام المرسلين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. جماعة المسلمين، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى في محكم كتابه: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون إلى آخر الآيات. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. All thanks and praise is due to the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in this ayah in Surah Baqarah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make mention and address the believers. Oh, you believe that verily the siyam, the fast, is prescribed unto you as it was prescribed unto the people and the nations before you. The Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned as hadith Qudsi, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make mention, كل عمل ابن آدم له إلا الصوم فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به. The Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take ownership of the fast. Although all other ibadat, it is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our salah, our zakah, our hajj, our sadaqat, and whatever good we do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as well as the fast. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specifically mentioned that the fast is mine, and I will deal with it, meaning I will reward my slave within accordance how my slave or my slaves deal with their fast. Imam Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi, he mentioned some of the reasons why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take ownership specifically of the fast. He said, over the decades, the people that worship idols like the sun, the moon, the fire, and whatever other idols, they worship their idols in different type of rituals. May it be sacrifice, may it be a form of salah or a form of dhikr or whatever, but none of them could worship their idols with fasting. Fasting is the only ibadah or the only worshipping whereby the slaves worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a form of fast, and that is specifically for the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take full ownership of that. And when we read this hadith, then we can understand when it comes to fast, then there is no limits, there's no boundaries in reward. For the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make mention, that is for me, and I will reward my slaves within accordance to their fasting, meaning how they will apply themselves to their fast. And the fast is one of the highest form of ibadat, as Imam Nawawi mentioned, that fasting is one of the qualities of the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala don't eat, don't drink. There's no wives, no children. So when the person or the believers, when they fast during the daytime, abstaining from food and drink and whatever is made halal to them, their wives, they abstain from it. It is some form of the quality of the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For this reason, Imam Nawawi and some other scholars, Qadi Iyad, they mention, because the fast is so high, therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of the reward of the fast for the fast. So from this we can understand, Jama'atul Muslimin, the people before, they also fast. Like many of the Anbiya, they fasted. Nabi Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam was the first to fast after they were saved from the punishment. And when they came down from the ark, the very day Nabi Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, he made niyat to fast the next day. And so many other of the Anbiya, they fasted until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it compulsory unto the Yahud and the Nasara. For the Yahud, they received the Torah, and the Nasara, they received the Injil. But unfortunately, they changed the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Instead of 30 days, they added, and eventually they became weak, and many of them didn't complete it as it was commanded to them. Be it as it may, the fast is one of the great ibadat whereby the slave or the slaves, they can mold themselves in the best way and form of discipline. When the fasting person is fasting, abstaining from whatever is halal, eating is halal, drinking is halal, our wives is halal, but when it comes to the day of fasting, then we abstain from whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us. So that in itself, as the scholars mention, is a very high form of obedience to the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If the slave have that courage and that strength to abstain from what is halal, then verily that indeed is then one of the high forms of ibadah. Therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the end of the ayah mentioned لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, and that is the true taqwa, meaning true and sincere and soul obedience to the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us tawfiq and hidayah. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
صلاة الله سلام الله على طه رسول الله. صلاة الله سلام الله على ياسين حبيب الله. على ياسين حبيب الله.